Trying to decide between Frisco and Prosper in 2026, you're not just choosing between a city, choosing a trajectory. Most people, when they move here, they choose this decision emotionally and then justify it logically later. You're probably going to come in, tour a model home, love the kitchen, love the layout, and think, yep, this is the one. You never stop to think, where's the growth heading? What does this area look like on a random Tuesday at 4:30? What is my resale value going to look like 5, 7, 10, 15 years down the road? And how does this decision today change over time? If you're relocating here, whether that's out of state or locally, no matter the price point, this is a decision we're having with families every week. Because for some buyers, Frisco is the super obvious answer for you. But for others, Prosper may outperform that decision decades or years down the road. Let's break it down the right way. Let's start with what most people focus on first, and that's what does your money actually buy you in each of these cities. Now, both suburbs are going to have prices anywhere from, $300,000-$400,000 all the way in excess of $2 million. So each city is going to have, whether you want the perfect starter home or ultra luxury price point, and anywhere in the middle, both cities are going to check the boxes for you. Now, overall, Frisco is a lot more established community. You're going to see, some older homes, bigger trees, more established neighborhoods, construction, no beeping, hammering like you may get in Prosper. A lot of the surrounding retail in Frisco is already there and established, and the amenities are fully operational and ready to go as soon as you move in. Most of Frisco, you can drive 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to be at Legacy West. The Star is right by you. A lot of your major corporate offices are easily accessible for you. Like I said, you have that established dining and entertainment already in place. Overall, Frisco feels a lot more complete and more move-in ready, if you will, versus Prosper is still developing and up and coming. Don't get me wrong, Prosper is, you still have a lot of your shopping and dining and retail already there. It's a lot more developed than if you go a little bit further up the road to Salina, but it's not near as done as Frisco. Prosper, you're typically going to get newer construction than Frisco. There's still a couple new neighborhoods in Frisco, but they're quickly running out of land. Prosper, you tend to get a little bit larger lot usually. You're also going to get a lot more modern master planned amenities. So while the amenities when you move in may not be ready yet, they're going to be a lot bigger, better, and newer than some of those older neighborhoods that you may get in Frisco. But a lot of the development is still underway. You're still going to have to deal with a little bit of your growing pains with some construction going on, whether that's in your neighborhood right next door, at the back of the neighborhood, or just some of the major roads you need to drive on, getting some expansion done. So here's the shift. Frisco, overall, you're buying into a lot more of a completed, like I said, move-in ready, versus in Prosper, you're buying the expansion. And depending on what your goals are, it's a very different investment posture, whether you go Frisco or Prosper. Frisco's going to be a lot more stable versus Prosper's like a Runway, where I would expect, and many others are expecting, once everything is developed, you're going to see a huge boom in prices and development. Let's talk a little bit about what the growth in each city looks like and what you can expect if you move into Prosper versus Frisco. A lot of buyers are going to ask, where is the momentum the strongest? Where do you see the development going, the next future going? Frisco's already gone through a lot of its explosive growth. If you look back 12, 15 years ago, Frisco was a lot smaller city than it is now. I've talked to many people, they remember when Highway 121 was a 2-lane road. It's already boomed, right? Not that there aren't still a few great developments like the Fields and the Grove there in Frisco. A lot of that's already done. And of course, growth is following north with the Dallas North Tollway extending up into Prosper through Salina. But back to Frisco, the demand is already proven. It's got a lot of your corporate job hubs there. PGA Frisco moved their headquarters. You have a lot of established employment hubs. Like we said, Prosper, on the other hand, is still developing. It is, there's a big fight between Prosper and Frisco on which school district is better. This is the top two that people want to move here for school districts, but there's still a lot of development happening in Prosper. The infrastructure is expanding. There's plenty of new neighborhoods popping up. A new one actually just broke ground. Mirabel, I believe is what it is called. They're just breaking ground now. That's where a lot of people get in kind of analysis paralysis on which way do they want to go, Prosper, Salina, growth versus stability. A lot of people like playing the safe bet and knowing, hey, Frisco's mature, I know what I'm gonna get, I know what's already there. And other people look at the trajectory and you may pay a little bit less in Prosper than Frisco, but you sacrifice a little bit of a drive. People want to be early to the curve in that new development, which is where you're going to lean more towards Prosper. Now, here's the nuance a lot of people miss when buying into an expansion area. You're going to deal with a lot of construction for potentially a long time. Some of these master plan communities, I think of Windsong Ranch and Prosper, they've been building there, I think, over 10 years. Not that the resale market isn't strong there, but if you buy in one of those brand new construction, you need to plan to be there minimum 5 years, I would say, to be on the safe side, or you may still be competing with some of that builder pricing and sacrificing some of your equity. If moving here is a shorter play or you don't know how much you love it, you may lean more towards Frisco in an established neighborhood where a couple years down the road, you're not competing with Highland Homes or DR Horton or Beazer or Normandy. You're one of those builders that are offering $50,000 in the design center, a 4.99 interest rate, and covering all closing costs. Because I'll be honest, that's super hard to compete with. The only way to compete with that is to drop the price. Buying into expansion, whether that's Prosper, Salina, or another North Texas suburb, you're gonna have to deal with some evolving traffic patterns, right? The roads have to grow with the city. So you're gonna constantly be changing your order. Like, I think I live right off Highway 75. Used to be the service road was 2 ways. Now it's 1 way. So when I go to the gym, I've got to make a giant loop around 75 to get back in my neighborhood. So it takes a little bit longer. Now, it may not be a deal breaker for you, but that's something to consider. Another thing that, right, if school district is super important, you may have to deal with a zoning shift in the school district. You also have to wait on, like we talked about, some of the infrastructure catching up. Now, if this is something that you really want help weighing the options and breaking down, reach out to me. That's what me and my team are here to do. We help families weigh the decisions of which suburb is best for them depending on your personal goals. So reach out to me. All my contact info is below. I'm more than happy to help. Now, let's talk about schools a little bit. Whether you have kids or not, school district zoning is ultimately one of the biggest impacts on the price of your home. Frisco ISD has a long-standing track record of being one of the top school districts in the state of Texas. It's established, it's known, it's prestigious. Prosper ISD is growing rapidly, and they're both A school districts. I don't know, the words weren't working. They're both A-rated school districts. If you go to a lot of the like texasschools.gov, some of those sites, be sure to do your own research, but I'll put a little infographic up on the screen. Now, one thing is there are some newer Frisco schools, of course, but all of Prosper schools are pretty much brand new. With Prosper ISD, you're gonna have those newer facilities, newer classrooms, newer schools, newer technologies, but it's still compounding its long-term brand, right? It's not as proven as Frisco, but whenever people move here, whether that's out of state or locally, their top 2 choices are always Prosper or Frisco ISD. Like we talked about, Frisco is a proven school district brand, while Prosper is up and coming and emerging, but still highly sought after. So when you're choosing between these 2 cities, you're not just thinking about your kids and their education, you're also thinking about your future buyer, which leads us into lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle are you gonna have and your future buyer? Now, if you imagine your average weekday in Frisco, you're gonna be a lot closer to major retail and shopping and grocery stores. You're gonna be a lot closer to nightlife. Of course, you're closer to Dallas. Now, it is a packed city, super busy, so there's gonna be a lot of traffic to deal with, a lot of activity, a lot going on. It's a very active city and family-focused environment. Now, some people really like that energy and think it's exciting. Other people think it's a little bit crowded feeling and don't like that, in which case moving a little bit further north may be the right play for you if you like a little bit slower paced lifestyle. Now, Prosper is still booming, so don't get me wrong, it can still feel super busy, but for right now, it feels a lot smaller than Frisco. A lot quieter, there's a little bit more space between developments in Prosper. You have a little bit more room to breathe, and a lot of buyers really love that. So if that's something you can resonate with, I'd give it a point to Prosper on that section. Other people, it makes them feel a little disconnected, not as convenient. You may have to drive a little bit further depending which section of Prosper you're buying in. Some of your everyday needs. If you're wanting, a lot more convenience, right now Frisco wins. And if you're okay having to drive a little bit further for things, and having a little bit more space and knowing that eventually that convenience is going to catch up to Prosper, Prosper may be a win for you. And once again, if you need any help deciding between is Prosper and Frisco the best two for me for what lifestyle I want, or should I look at another suburb, reach out to me. Feel free to call me, text me, email me, schedule a Calendly link, whatever you prefer and are most comfortable with. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk some strategies with you and see if any of these North Texas suburbs are a good fit for you or if you should look elsewhere. But let's talk about the future. What long-term looks like for you if you decide to stay long-term and what your exit strategy may look like. Now, the smartest move isn't about today because investments take time to grow, right? There's a saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. You gotta think about who your buyer will be when you sell, if that's something that matters to you. Now, in Frisco, your resale buyer is often either a move-up buyer that wants a great school district for their kid, that prioritizes proximity to being close to everything, your major job hubs, convenience, right? You've got Universal Kids Studio going in, you've got PGA Frisco, you've got a lot of shopping, dining, you're close to Legacy West, or just a corporate relocation, right? There's a ton of jobs in that area. It's kind of the perfect central location of everything going on. This is in Prosper, your resale buyer is likely someone that wants a little bit newer home, one moving further north for a little bit more space, and a breathing room, bigger yard, for someone chasing growth and betting on that long-term appreciation of Prosper. With all the corporate job hubs moving either to Frisco or further north, I know several just moved from Dallas to Plano, which doesn't sound like a big jump, but it cuts your commute down from an hour to like 30 or 40 minutes. So the key question is, what is your time horizon and how long do you think you may be in these cities? If you're looking for a great starter home, and planning to move in 3 to 5 years, Prosper could be a little risky depending on which area you buy in, right? Is it an older neighborhood that's already established, or are you buying in the first phase of a new construction 3,200 acre master plan community that's going to be building there for the next 10 years? I personally would not recommend that unless you're planning to turn it into an investment rental property itself. Now, if you're planning to stay 7 to 10 years plus, you can't go wrong with either choice. The development's already going to be there. You're likely going to see your home trend upwards in value. And when you decide to sell, you're not going to have as much new construction to compete with, or none, depending, like I said, which community. It's why my answer can't be universal for you, right? I don't know your exact scenario, what's important, what your long-term play is. So which one's the smarter move in 2026? If you value that established reputation, you're gonna get your immediate conveniences right around the corner and proven demand, Frisco's probably gonna make the most sense for you. If you value those newer communities, you're gonna have a growth runway up north, and that expansion potential, Prosper may be the right fit for you. This really isn't about which city is better. They're both great, unless you buy in the wrong one, then it sucks, right? So we wanna make sure you get in the right city that fits exactly what you are looking for. And if you're relocating, whether that's in the next 9 days or 9 months, trying to make a decision strategically, this is exactly where we help families map that out every week. Reach out to me. I'd love to help you break down your commute times, schools, lifestyle, and what your long-term plan is to make sure we get you in a home in a community that checks all the boxes and you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment with any questions you have, and be sure to subscribe. I do weekly videos about all these North Texas suburbs, so be sure you don't miss one of those.